Hi, it's Darnell with Wave Oven Recipes, and today I'm going to be cooking up some fresh beef burgers in the KitchenAid Countertop Oven. I'm going to be using the broil and the air fry function, cooking some both ways, and we'll see if anything is different. But let's get cooking right now. Okay, so here are my fresh burgers, direct from Costco. It's almost 3 pounds worth, and basically they're fresh beef versus their form patties were the same price per pound, so I just went ahead and got the ones they already made in the patties for me. And so there's 8 patties, and so I'm going to go ahead and get these onto this grill pan that is inside of the bake pan, and I'm just going to season them with my Grill Mates Montreal steak grill seasoning, well, Montreal steak seasoning. And you know, nothing in this video is sponsored or anything like that, but I like this seasoning, so just getting them out. I'm just gonna set 4 of them into this pan, and I'll do this for using the broil function, and the other 4 that are in the pack I'll do later using air fry, and we'll just see, you know, if anything's any different, better, worse. I'll let you know. But with these, we'll just open up. You know, if you don't have like this type of seasoning and you just want to know a good seasoning mix to use on burgers, I mean, salt and pepper is really all you need. I just like this in particular. It just gives a real nice pop to the flavor of beef, in my opinion. So I use it. Just get this side well seasoned up. I'm not going to use any oil or anything on them. I'm just going to go with them, you know, straight like this. Just season up this side, and now that I've got that side done, just flip and put them in the pan, and then I'll get some seasoning on the opposite side. So there we go. 4 fit in the pan quite nicely, and so just going to give the same treatment to the other side. So that's pretty decent, good to go. You can season yours up the way you prefer. I'm going to put the other ones back in the fridge for now. They'll just hang out for a little while until it's their turn. But, oops, yeah, I think I over-seasoned that one now. That's okay. So we're good with that. So we'll just leave that like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the cooker preheated, so switching it over to broil. Can leave it at the max of 450 degrees Fahrenheit. For cooking time, when I press the knob here, I'm going to see what happens. Well, I'm going to do 20 minutes, but I'm really only going to cook them for maybe 10 minutes. I'm going to do them like 5 minutes aside. I'm going to do 5 minutes, and I'm going to open up while still cooking, flip them, and put them back and see how they are temperature wise after just 10 minutes. Let's hit start. The broil does have a preheat, and I'll bring you back when it's done preheating. Alright, the preheat's finished, so I'm going to open up, stick them on in there, close up, and turn the time back to my full 20 minutes so that they cook for the full 20 minutes that I intended. And I did want to mention, I'm not going to check them till later as far as temperature, as I mentioned. Of course, I've got plenty of meat gadget probes if I wanted to test their temperature while they're cooking to get them to like some specific temperature and stop at a specific temp, but I'm not going to be doing that this time. This time I'm just going to cook each set for some time until they look good and done, and check their temperature and how things are looking and all, and leave it at that. Of course, if you want to use a meat probe or something, that is up to you. I'm going to see how they look after 5 minutes. If they don't look like they're very well cooked after 5 minutes, then I'll just leave them for 10 and then flip and just do 20 minutes on each side, and we can do that with the air fry and the broil and see if things come out any different. But I'll bring you on back in a few minutes. Alright, so basically it's been 5 minutes. And you can see broil is not really burning it down, so to speak. I mean, things are cooking, but they are definitely, these burgers are not going to be done in just 10 minutes with 5 on each side. So I'm going to definitely let them cook for 10 minutes each side and just do a 20-minute cook total, and we'll see what we get from there. But you can see things aren't really, 5 minutes with a preheat, it's not really doing the job much on the broil. We'll let this continue though for now, and I'll bring it back when it's time to flip them. Alright, it's been 10 minutes, and so I'm going to go ahead and go in and do a flip of things now. You can see they're, cooking pretty well. Not using any fan with the broil, so there's no convection going on. It's just broil alone. So you could do a convection broil if you want, but I'm just doing it with just straight up broil alone, and air fry will have all the fan action going on. So I think I'm not getting under, it's like I'm getting under the grate when I'm trying to get under the burger. Alright, we'll just get one more flip and we'll be done. Alright, there we go. So they all need a little more time, and we'll give it to them, and I'll bring you back. Alright, we're coming into the final seconds of this cook of a total of 20 minutes on these burgers. I'm going to use my Thermopen to check the temperature. So let's get in here. There was absolutely no smoke during the cook. And this one is like 172, 173, so it's very well done. So they're in the low 170s. The ones in the back, now this one is 161, 162. That's interesting. And this one's like 166, 167. So the ones in the back did not get cooked as hard as the ones in the front. That's interesting. And so I'm going to go ahead and get them on out, just put them on a plate. They didn't get like any crazy hard sear on the top or anything. There's no type of grill marks or anything on the burgers as well. So just going to put them on the plate here, and we'll be done with this particular batch of burgers. So let's get this last two, if I can get them off of there. Okay, and one more. Alright, so we've gotten all 4 off, and these are broiled. Took 20 minutes. Probably could have done less, of course, but I don't mind a well done burger, but you could always stop sooner if that's your choice. But we're going to try air fry now. I'm going to get this pan cleaned up, and then we'll try 4 with air fry for the same amount of time, same type of way cooking them. Alright, so now we've got our next 4 burgers, so just going to season them up here. And we'll see if things turn out any differently or better or worse from our observations of these. I'm just going to tap that season on in there and flip them on over so we can season the other side up. Got some extra beef here. I guess I'll just throw it in on that one there. Alright, and then number 4. There we go. And get this thing off there. Alright. I have to sanitize this bottle now, but we'll take care of that later. Alrighty. We got them all seasoned up real nice now. Alright. Tap that on in there like so. The air fry will have some fan action that might blow our seasoning around a little bit. We'll see. So now I'm going to adjust the cooker to air fry, up the temperature to 450, and tap in, and I'll lower the cook time to 20 minutes. and we'll hit start. We'll let that preheat run and I'll bring you on back. Alright, the preheat time is finished, and so I'm going to get these on in there. And we'll let this run for 10 minutes and then we'll get those burgers flipped on over. Alright, so 10 minutes is almost up, so it's time for me to get in there and show my terrible flipping skills again. I'm sure you'll flip yours much better than I flip mine. So let's go ahead and try and get in there. You can see, not really well cooked at all after 10 minutes. I think these are definitely less cooked than the broiled ones after 10 minutes in my opinion. I think they're less cooked. I mean, I guess you can run the video back since you're watching on video, but they look less cooked to me after 10 minutes. Well, we'll give them 10 more and we'll see what happens. Alright, we're coming into the last seconds of this air fry cook and going to get in there and check this temp one more time. So here we go. So here's how they look. Temperature is 148, 150. So I mean, these are like, you know, medium well to well. That one's kind of rare, 138. Wow. That one's 150. That one's in the 150. Let me check this one again. Okay. Well, I think it's going to carry over. I'm going to, you know, say that made it to about, you know, 140. It's going to carry over. But definitely way lower temp for the final outcome on these. Now I'm just going to go ahead and get them off. I mean, but you can see they're definitely not as, you know, not as well done as the others. No doubt about it. I mean, air fried definitely did not cook them as hard as broiled. And you know, that pan is probably a big factor, because of how they have you cook things that have drippings in that pan, you know, blocking some of the lower air. But here's our air fried burgers, and here's our broiled burgers again. So we've got our air fried on top and our broiled on bottom. I'm going to give these about 5 minutes, the ones that were just cooked, about 5 minutes to rest before I do anything further. Alright, so we've let the meat all rest for a while, and again I'll show you, these are the air fry ones and these are the broiled ones. So we definitely got more of a cook on broiled than we did on air fry, but I'm just going to take this one here and just well, I guess I better use a good sharp knife instead of going at it with just a spatula. So just going to cut down the middle of one of each of the patties so you can see inside. So here's our air fry patty after 20 minutes, 450. Air fry 450, 20 minutes. And now this one is was broiled 450, 20 minutes. So here's our broiled patty. So there we go. So you definitely see the difference between your broil and your air fry patty with this cooker, for sure. So I'm just taking a piece for general taste testing purposes of one of each. One of the broil and one of the air fry. Here we go. Get that on over there. Alright, so let's do a little taste test. Alright, so here's our broiled. Over here is our broiled one, and here's our air fried one there. So I'm just going to try the broiled one first. Now we'll try our air fried one. Okay, so basically, I mean, obviously the air fry one is more moist, juicy, and tender. The broiled one was not because it cooked a little harder in that amount of time. I mean, its broil is not as hot and fast as some other cookers broil, but it does do broil better than air fry. If you want to, do something like cook up some burgers, you can do broil with your burgers and, just lower your cooking time if, you don't want to have them really well done. It's all up to you, and whatever you like is, all good. I'm good with whatever. So, but, definitely the air fry came out with a more moist, juicy burger just because it doesn't cook as hard and fast because I guess maybe the pan underneath, but I flipped them, I flipped them. So even though it's getting, heat all around and got the fan going and all that stuff, the broil just blasting it with heat from the top, what this cooker does better, no fan or anything. So that's pretty interesting there. Like I said, you can adjust the time to your liking to, get them to the level of doneness that you prefer. And so with all that said, I will mention in the video description, you can find a link to my cookbook. You can also find, there'll be printable instructions for this cook in the video description. And also you can always check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. Also a referral link for the cooker itself. You pay the same price, help this channel if you're interested in the cooker itself. And also with all that said, I do want to mention, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.